Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right in. Today we're talking about absolutely one of the most vital things you can do, verifying your voter registration ahead of Election Day in Montana. It doesn't matter if you voted in every election for the last 30 years, or if you're getting ready to cast your very first ballot, making sure your registration is accurate is a total must. We're going to break down the exact steps, the common pitfalls, and the essential rules you need to know to make sure your voice is heard loud and clear.
So, I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture doing all your research, carving out time in your busy schedule, and showing up at your polling place on Election Day, only to be told you aren't on the list. No way, right? Or what if you're waiting for your mail ballot to show up at your new apartment and it just never arrives? Honestly, these are the kinds of administrative roadblocks that can completely silence your voice. But here's the good news. Avoiding this whole scenario takes literally less than a minute. In this explainer, we're diving into a step-by-step tutorial on exactly how to check and update your voter registration status in Montana. You'll be fully prepared when it counts.
Okay, let's start with why checking your status actually matters so much.
The sheer scale of this issue might actually surprise you. Just to put it into perspective, as of August 2026, Montana's statewide voter database showed that 128,372 registered voters were flagged with an inactive status. That's practically 19% of the entire Montana electorate. We're talking nearly 1 in 5 voters who might face unexpected hurdles if they try to vote by mail or show up at the polls without realizing their status got changed.
So let's demystify this jargon a bit, because I know it confuses a lot of people. Being tagged as inactive definitely does not mean you're unregistered, and it for sure doesn't mean your right to vote has been revoked. You're still in the system. But it does have some real-world consequences. Most importantly, if you're on that inactive list, you are excluded from automatic mail ballot distribution. Yep, even if your county conducts an all-mail election, you won't automatically get a ballot in the mail. You actually have to take action to reactivate your file.
All right, moving right along to the step-by-step status check. How do we actually do this?
The easiest way to verify your record is through the state's My Voter page. This is the official centralized portal run by the Secretary of State's Election and Voter Services Division. You can hop online and find it at voterportal.mt.gov or app.mt.gov/voterinfo. Honestly, I highly recommend just bookmarking one of those links right now.
Once you're on the portal, it's super straightforward, but there is one major catch you need to know about. You'll just enter your first name, your last name, and your date of birth. But here's the crucial detail. The system requires an exact match, which means you have to type your name without any spaces or punctuation. So if you've got a hyphen in your last name, you've got to leave that hyphen out when you type it in the search bar. Seriously, this one simple formatting quirk is a huge reason why people mistakenly think they aren't registered.
When your profile finally pulls up, there are a few specific things you need to verify. First off, double-check your current residence address. Ensure it's exactly where you live right now. This is a big deal because it dictates which local reps you can vote for, and critically, it ensures your ballots go to the right place. In Montana, election mail-in ballots absolutely cannot be forwarded by the post office. No exceptions. If your address is wrong, your ballot is just going straight back as undeliverable. And lastly, just double-check to confirm whether your status is active or inactive.
Okay, what happens if things go wrong? Let's talk troubleshooting.
If you try to look yourself up and the system just flat out can't find you, or if you run into some weird systemic error, don't panic. The Montana Secretary of State actually maintains a direct, toll-free lifeline for voters. You can just call 888-884-VOTE. That's 888-884-8683. The folks at the Election and Voter Services Division can help you sort out any administrative hiccups or missing info right over the phone.
So let's say you do need to make a change. Here is how you update your registration.
There's something we like to call the digital analog gap. Basically, while Montana gives us this great online portal to check our status, they don't actually support online voter registration updates. What that means for you is that any correction, whether you're changing your address, updating your name, or reactivating your file, requires a physical, paper-based process. Unfortunately, you can't just click a button online to fix it.
To actually update your file, you've got to use the official Montana voter registration application, which you can easily download from the state's website. Now pay super close attention here. You have to sign this physical piece of paper with an original wet ink signature. Digital or electronic signatures are completely legally invalid for voter registration in Montana. Once you've physically signed it with a pen, you just mail it or hand-deliver it to your local county election office.
Moving right along to some essential resources and tips you'll definitely want to keep in mind.
Montana uses a tiered photo ID system when it comes to registering and voting. Ideally, the easiest route is to use a Montana driver's license, a state ID card, or the last 4 digits of your social security number. But hey, if you don't have those handy, the state is pretty flexible with alternative combinations. You can absolutely use a valid military or tribal photo ID, a U.S. passport, or even a school photo ID. The only catch is that you have to combine it with a supporting document that shows your name and current address. Think something like a utility bill, a bank statement, or a government check.
And of course, timing is everything. If you're registering or updating your info by mail, your application has to be postmarked 30 days before Election Day. But here's a really important update. Current court rulings have actually blocked efforts to end same-day registration. What that means for you right now is that you can still register to vote in person at your county election office all the way up until 8 p.m. on Election Day itself. It's also really important to clear up how residency rules work for a couple of specific groups. College students, you've actually got a choice. You can register at your permanent home address and vote absentee, or you can register at your school address, provided you've lived there for 30 days. Just remember, it is a massive legal violation to register and vote in both places. Now, for formerly incarcerated individuals, your voting rights in Montana are immediately and automatically restored the very second you're released from a penal institution. Yes, even if you're on probation or parole. You just need to submit a new voter registration application to get yourself back on that active list.
All right, let's wrap this up with a quick conclusion and some next steps.
I want to share this really fantastic mission statement from Montana Voices. It simply says every Montanan is able to participate fully in our democracy. Taking literally 30 seconds to check your registration online isn't just some boring administrative chore. It's your first line of defense in protecting your fundamental right to participate. It ensures that when you go to cast that ballot, it's going to be counted without any delay or hassle.
Now, just a quick but important disclaimer, voter laws and processes can and do change. You should always verify current information directly with the Montana Secretary of State or your local county election office. All right, I've got a quick request for you. If you found this explainer helpful, please smash that like button, share it with your friends, family, and neighbors across Montana, and drop a comment below if you've already checked your status this year. Spreading this information is exactly how we empower our communities. So here's my final thought for you to chew on. If democracy truly relies on participation, can you afford to let a simple paperwork error keep you on the sidelines? Go check your status today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay curious.